Hi viewers, this is your host and your friend Hinatif again with the channel Rise and Shine. I start my today's topic with Joseph Campbell's marvelous lines. The goal of life is to make your heartbeat match the beat of this universe. We all have relations, and some relations are quite sacred to us and special than others. But if those relations don't constantly get on to their own track, we meet a heartbreak or a breakup relationship. This is what I'm going to discuss with you all today. What to do if you're heartbroken or ignored, or you just have a breakup with your beloved or with any of your relative, or if you're ignored by someone you've totally devoted your life for. First of all, let us discuss what actually is heartbreak. Most of the people sometimes complex it with very minute emotions. So we should have a clarity of conception of heartbreak. A heartbreak is literally a metaphor for the intense emotional stress or pain one feels at experiencing great loss of her, so her beloved, a deep longing and the realization to get the desired love you were giving and expecting in return, but you failed to get that love and concern and attention. So how miserable you feel and what kind of pain you go through is merely what you or your God knows only. So breakup is best cited with reference to unreciprocated love. What does a heartbreak feel like? Literally, some describe it as an actual ache, others as piercing, while still some experience it as a crushing sensation. Sometimes pain subsides, whereas in some situations it becomes chronic and long-lasting. Days, months, or even years. Depleting, you would just like the pain that can kill you gradually like slow poisoning. Heartbreak causes the negative emotions are influenced by hormones with the increment of stress hormones in our brains like cortisol, adrenaline and non-adrenaline, and reduction of happy hormones like serotonin and oxytocin within the body. These heartbreak hormones also lead to some chronic mental and physical symptoms like to say depression, generalized anxiety disorder, fibromyalgia, abnormal appetite changes, headaches, stomach aches. Heartbreak is an unfortunately most commonly increasing part of the human experience these days. Somehow or the other, it really sucks you from within. The language we often use to describe heartbreak is like, I feel like my heart's being ripped off, or it was gut-wrenching, or it was like a slap unforgettable on my face, or it's like someone sucked my whole blood from my entire body. Love can be addictive, like drugs, because of the hormones our brains releases when we become really attached or attracted to someone or something, especially the opposite sex. Dopamine and oxytocin, in particular, are hormones that make us feel like heavenly good, which are released at elevated levels when we are in love with someone. Interestingly, viewers, a medically broken heart is referred to as Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. This syndrome is caused due to unbearable stress of a heart-breaking situation. Acute emotional stress, positive or negative, can cause the left ventricle of the heart to be stunned or paralyzed, causing heart-like symptoms. But don't try to confuse it with heart attack, please. These symptoms include strong chest, arms or your shoulder pain, pain in your left hand, traveling throughout the body, shortness of breath, dizziness, loss of consciousness and alertness, temporary loss of your even affecting your senses. Stages of the grief one suffers when he or she has been through a certain heartbreak. Shock. Feelings of shock are unavoidable in nearly every situation. Even if we had to prepare for the loss, we are well prepared for the loss of a loved one. We know it's gonna happen. People in heartbreak shocks often pretend to be normal so as the people around them not to sympathize with them. Or some either subside in a state of numbness and a self-protective detachment from their feelings because they are too intense to deal or cope with. One of the stages of the breakup is denial. Many people experience denial after a bereavement, like they know something terrible has happened, but it doesn't feel like real to them. People going through a breakup denial often describe it as a mental fog. This is with the association of forgetfulness actually. Lack of motivation, concentration, insomnia, anxiety, and not letting them making any more relationship or attachment because they have developed a sort of fear with making relationships again. It's perfectly normal to feel anger in times of a loss or breakup. The victims also go through a stage called the bargaining stage. This is about making promises to yourself or a higher being, that is, asking the God of the universe for a chance to put all the wrong things right in order. We often have thoughts like, during the bargaining stage, maybe I could have done things differently. Maybe I could not let it happen. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe I could have apologized. Maybe I could have looked into something that could have saved the relationship. So they completely feel helpless and perplexed if they were loyal and committed to the partner. Depression. The suffering ones are indulged in immeasurable and unexplainable depression, believe me. They are indulged in isolation, keep themselves in isolation, crying, not being able to get up, to do anything. Nothing in the world motivates them. Even drinking a glass of water or taking even a simple footstep or washing their face or combing their hair is like someone's forcing them to climb up a mountain. Then comes acceptance and hope. Humans by nature crave for love, connection, care, attention, support, and at some stage in the grieving breakup process will want to engage with their close family or friends. Acceptance is about realizing that we can't change the circumstances, but we can gain control over how to respond to them, react and fight with what we are going through. Then comes processing grief. There is no right or wrong way to grieve. Grief is to grieve. Whether you cry, yell, shout, or simply become totally numb, broken his or her promises throughout. But, my dear, enough is enough for everyone. You might feel sad, lost, or even just not yourself. Now, how to cope up with your normal life after such a breakup or loss in your life? Maybe you can compromise. That's the first step initially. A breakup can bring about numerous feelings and emotions. Take your feelings normal. To go with the flow is the best strategy to cope without being overwhelming. And thank him or her to make you realize that he or her was your biggest mistake. And now you can move on as a strong person as ever before. The key is to learn to carry on with your life. Breakups, rejections, and loss are painful, and they make us more empathetic even to others. Push your negative feelings away. Talk about them. Write about them. Make realistic goals and strive hard to acquire them, though it might seem extremely impossible for you to continue or to acquire and stand upon your feet. Hey, life's waiting for you to welcome you again back. I got some beautiful lines of Anais Nin. Love never dies a natural death. It dies because we don't know how to replenish its source. It dies of blindness, errors, and betrayals. It dies of illnesses and wounds. It dies of weariness, of witherings, of tarnishings. To end the discussion of heartbroken relationships and heartbreak up, I wrote some beautiful lines. I've fought thousands of battles, but I'm still standing. I've cried 1,000 tears, but I'm still smiling. I've been broken, betrayed, abandoned, and rejected, but I'm still proudly walking. Because I know I wasn't that wrong. The way I suffered. Now I'm free. I smile, I laugh, and I live my life without any fear. I'm humble. I'm beautiful. I am, because I am me. I'm beautifully broken, perfectly imperfect, and beautiful in any flaws altogether. Thanks a lot, viewers. Do give your comments and suggestions on this topic, and do let me know what can I have for you next time. If you're interested to know about something new, do question about it. Take good care of yourselves and remember me in your prayers. Goodbye.